What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, JNO, and welcome to the Game Week 32 plus preview for Fantasy Premier League, where I go over how I did in Game Week 31 plus and also what transfers I'm planning to make for Game Week 32. And I've also got my free hit and triple captain still to play, so are we using them in this game week? All of that coming up on this video. But before we do that, your guys' response to the last video I did was epic. We got 4,000 views in less than 24 hours, which is great for this channel at the moment. So thank you guys so much. You really got involved in the comments and I got involved in the comments with you. So today, get in those comments, tell me how you did in Game Week 31 and tell me what your strategy is for the rest of your chips, if you have any. All of that in the comments down below. And also, just for the record, 60% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel, so do consider hitting that subscribe and hitting that like button. Can we get more likes than last video? If we hit over 100, that would be absolutely brilliant. Let's actually start talking FPL as we look at how I did in Game Week 31 plus. And in Game Week 31 plus, we managed to get 73 points, which is a respectable total. I did see some better totals out there on a wild card. I did take some risks and some of them didn't pay off. However, 73 points does see me drop by 8,000 places in rank to 148,000. Now, that could have easily been stopped if we had managed to pick the correct captain, which we didn't with Bruno Fernandes, and if some of my punts on players had gone my way. And to be honest, the underlying stats didn't look great, but having watched the football, because I wanted to make sure I watched as many of the games as possible before I did this video for you, instead of just rushing out a video before the game week's over, I'm not too disheartened with how my team is currently lining up. We managed to get 8 points from Martinez at 4.2 million, Arsenal keeping a clean sheet. Arsenal actually looked better defensively with Holding in there than they did with David Luiz, so I'm very happy that I took that risk, although it would have been nice to be part of Pope's clean sheet. Then we did have Justin getting a clean sheet as well, getting 5 points, and Trent Alexander-Arnold getting the clean sheet and the goal from that brilliant free kick, getting 14 points in total. We then also had Doherty getting involved as well with a clean sheet, 6 points, so the defence came through for me. And then in midfield, we did have some decent performances. Mohamed Salah getting 11 points. Shame he didn't get the captaincy armband, because that would have changed my game week. Son getting an assist. He could have also had a goal if his toe wasn't offside. And then unfortunately it goes a bit downhill from there in midfield, as we did see Fernandes and Pogba only get 3 points each. However, both looked good in the game against Sheffield United, and there was times when Martial got to the ball first when Bruno Fernandes was literally just behind him, and it could have gone a different way for me. So I probably can't transfer both of these Manchester United midfielders out too quickly. However, I'm not too worried about having them for now, because they both did look in good nick. And then we had Richarlison as well. Richarlison probably the biggest disappointment of the game week, because I just didn't notice him in the game against Norwich, and the reason he was in there was because it was Norwich and I was hoping for him and Calvert-Lewin to fire on, and neither really did. That being said, Calvert-Lewin did look like he had a couple of chances, and had it been a different game week, maybe he would have got some points. And Calvert-Lewin is of course cheaper, so is more likely to stay on my side a little bit longer. And then Raul Jimenez, Mr. Consistent, getting the goal from a Traore assist of course. Unfortunately, I didn't captain Jimenez. That would have also been an acceptable captain for me in this game week, but I'm happy with how Jimenez is getting on, and that Wolves side look like they could be pushing for one of those Champions League berths and could keep getting those victories. As for the bench, not much to be said. Newcastle didn't keep a clean sheet. Greenwood didn't get on the score sheet, getting 2 points, and Kiko Firmino also only getting 2 points, but the bench is purely there to be cheap and cheerful and be players that are actually going to feature in the up and coming game weeks in case I do need them to come on. So how does my team line up for Game Week 32? And we actually don't seem to have too bad a time of it in Game Week 32 plus. Martinez against Norwich at home. I'm hopeful Arsenal can keep a clean sheet, but it is Arsenal. But at 4.2 million, anything from Martinez like last week would be fantastic. We've got Justin, Alexander-Arnold and Doherty in defence, with Everton away, Manchester City away and Aston Villa away. Again, I don't think away games are going to play as much of a factor without fans in attendance. I still think Liverpool will push on to try and beat Man City's point record in the league for a Champions win, so I think potentially it might be worth keeping hold of Liverpool players, and Trent seems to be pretty nailed on in that right back berth. I'm hoping for points from Doherty as well against Aston Villa, but another clean sheet would be just fine. And Justin against Everton, I don't really know how that game is going to go. but at 4.7 million, again, he's a cheap way into a Leicester City defence. Potentially that could be moved on to someone like Holgate later down the line if I don't like Leicester's fixtures, but for this one I think Justin will stay in. Then in midfield, we're going with a 5-man midfield again at the time of recording. However, Richarlison is probably going to be the transfer out with Leicester City at home in his next game. I just feel like I don't need two Everton options with the way they attacked in the last game. Salah stays in the side for now with Man City away. I do think Liverpool will want to keep winning games, and now that Man City don't have loads to play for and they do have an FA Cup to contest, potentially we could see Liverpool take this one and hopefully Salah gets something there. We have Son against Sheffield United away. Sheffield United haven't looked like they've hit the ground running as the season has restarted, so I'm hoping Son could get something. He could have got a goal and an assist in the last game. Yes, his underlying stats weren't as good as I'd have liked, and he seemed a bit pushed out to the left compared to where he was playing when Kane was of course injured, but I'm still hopeful Son can get something and we're going to give him a chance into this game week. Fernandes and Pogba, yes, Martial absolutely stole the show in the game against Sheffield United, and Rashford also got 2 assists, but I do believe Fernandes and Pogba were vital parts to their team's performance and could be players that do get something in the game against Brighton Hove Albion, so we'll keep them for at least this game week. And then up front we've got Jimenez and Calvert-Lewin again. Jimenez has done nothing to make me consider taking him out of my side. In fact, he's done enough to probably get the captaincy armband in this one, with Calvert-Lewin also keeping his place purely because his performance was better than Richarlison's. Greenwood will take the first slot on the bench purely because he might play. Manchester United might get a lot of goals and Greenwood could definitely be involved. Hopeful for Lascelles to get a clean sheet if he does need to come on and kick a Firmino. I'm not expecting too much, but I do know Watford need to kick on and get some points to stay in the Premier League. As for the players I'm considering bringing in, I'm actually really tempted by 2 punts. One would be Traore, but it would mean tripling up on Wolves, but he just does seem to suddenly turn into a player that is important and knows is important to that Wolves side. And also looking at St Maximin, who does have Bournemouth in his next fixture, which is a tasty fixture for me, purely because Bournemouth, again, like your Sheffield Uniteds, your Norwiches, your Aston Villas, don't look like they've necessarily hit the ground running on this return. So those are 2 that I am considering bringing in for Richarlison. The planned move initially was to go to Ismail Sarr. The plan for this game week was to go to Ismail Sarr, but I didn't really see enough of him in game week 31 to make me really confident to bring him in. It's possible I will still go for that move, but Southampton at home doesn't fill me with the greatest hope for Watford in that fixture. I think Southampton have looked half decent coming back from the lockdown period. And in comparison to Sarr, St Maximin has Bournemouth and West Ham in his next 2, and Traore has Aston Villa and Arsenal, which I do prefer to Watford's game against Southampton and then Chelsea. So that is it for this video, but before we go, again, make sure to get in those comments and tell me how many points you got in game week 31 and what chips and wildcards you may have left and what your strategy is for the rest of the season. Like last time, I will be in the comments responding to as many people as possible, so let's have that FPL conversation. And a new thing I want to do on this channel, for those of you that reach the end, I want you to hashtag the channel that I promote on the video right at the end of the video, and today we are going to promote Fantasy Football Focus. Graham is a guy that during lockdown was there for me and the Wildcats during a period of flux where we were trying to figure out what we were going to do with the channel, and has been really helpful with our streams and also being that extra person that can step in and help us when one of us is unavailable to stream. So I think Graham deserves a shout out, and he's been a massive supporter for the Wildcats and by proxy me, and I just think he deserves a lot of love and support. So if you're part of the flock, you also need to be part of the Focus gang, so go and check out his channel, subscribe, let's see what kind of impact we can have and see if we can make his weekend. And if you have done that, make sure in the comments down below to go hashtag focus so I know that you've done it. Let's see if we can help out the smaller YouTubers, because that's something I prided myself on before and I don't feel like I've done enough recently. So let's make a change to how we run things here and let's do something nice for other people. And if you've got this far, you get the final catchphrase, don't you? So I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.